Hello YouTube and welcome to a new reaction series on the channel today, that being for Girls Last Tour. We're here today to watch some Girls Last Tour, everybody. So if anybody is new here, hello, hi, I react to anime. I like to take a pretty in-depth look at pretty much all aspects of it. I'll go through the episode once I'm done in the end, with the overall goal to to try to find out what makes this show special. And from the response that it got on the poll, I think it might be quite special indeed. So on my channel, I do polls. I do some democracy. I dabble in democracy to find out what to watch next. I recently put up a poll. The results of which are here. I use a convoluted ranking system, so don't worry too much about that. But Girls Last Tour won, and as you can see, it won pretty handily. And if you see what it's compared against, this is surprising to me. This was not the show that I expected to win the poll, and I guess that's my own ignorance, because in recent days I've had a number of people on both the YouTube and the Discord side reaching out saying how much they love this show and how much they're happy that I'm watching it. So yeah, like maybe everybody just secretly thought this show was amazing and I hadn't really even heard that much about it. I mean, I knew about the show before going into it, which I'll get into shortly, but I didn't know that there was this fervor around it, let's say. So certain shows in the anime community, you know that there's people that know they're good, right? And they like to tell you that they know it's good. Girls Last Tour don't really feel that, but potentially a little bit of a silent majority there voting this is the show that won. But without further ado, I should start to do my little bit of an intro before watching the first episode. So what I like to do when I start a new show is I want to set expectations up, maybe make a few broad predictions initially. I want to have a look at the staff, and I want to have a look at the key visual. Other than that, I don't want to know any information. I don't read any synopsis. I don't know who's in it. All I know is what's on that key visual, mostly the picture on Mal, basically. But either way, what do I know about Girls Last Tour before we dive in? Again, as I've said, not a great deal, right? I know that it's playing in a genre that I'm relatively familiar with. I guess you could broadly call it cute girls, but it's a show that's I'm not expecting this to be a shonen action show, you know what I mean? I've got a pretty good expectation of what I should expect moment to moment based on its genre. I have heard the term iyashike being applied to this, potentially, which we'll see. I'm a iyashike enjoyer, as I'm sure most people that watch them are. It's literally like in the title that you're supposed to enjoy it. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Describing words I've heard about this show include thoughtful and contemplative. So we'll see. I think it's post-apocalyptic, but again, that's could be completely wrong. I know that it stars two girls. I know that the art style is relatively cutesy, but also that cutesy art style may stand in contrast to some of the content, and they may be a little bit of the appeal of the show. And I don't know if this is correct. This could be like me randomly just talking absolute garbage, but I heard somewhere that this show has good backgrounds. So I could have made that up. We'll see if the backgrounds look good. And that's basically all I know about the show. Another thing I like to do, which I forgot to talk about, was break down the title a little bit. It has a Japanese title that pretty well translates to the English one, so it's not really much to look at there. So I might as well just look at the English words. Girls. There's going to be girls in it, I think. Last. Put a pin in last. Tour. Tour of war, I would potentially think there, right? Considering, again, we'll go into the key visual, but I believe I've also seen them in a tank before, I think, at some point or other. I believe it's something to do with war. But that immediately asks the question, right? Why is it the last tour? And why have I only ever seen two girls? Think about it. I do not know, but think about it. Right? And now I've written down some notable stuff here. I guess I can show you this now. I might as well. I had a Google Doc which basically said my script up here if you wanted to read it a little bit. But yeah, the director is Takaharu Ozaki. Other works directed, and these are the ones that he would have, again, the most creative control over. This is the only one where I've really dove in super hard to director, because again, director is the most important person of a production. So, Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy. I do not know what this is at all. Goblin Slayer plus the movie. Not a massive Goblin Slayer fan, but again, that may be more story department wise and content rather than directing, because I believe it's a pretty well made show, and it combines music, visuals, and animation in a pretty good way. So I don't know, base it off a different manga. Maybe I don't have as many issues, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again. Some Persona 5 thing, I think it was like an OVA, and Wave Let's Go Surfing, which is a trilogy of movies, which I'm pretty sure has some staff crossover with a couple of other people. But again, I don't. I wrote okay. I don't really know. But he's done lots of DP work, and DP work's interesting because like a lot of people don't think you need a director of photography for an anime, but you most certainly do. It's a very important job. So a lot of work in that department, as well as storyboards, key animation, unit directing for some pretty good shows. Technolize, I believe is how you say this. It's been on a couple of polls, I think, in the past for me. Symphogear Season 1. we love Symphogear here on the channel, so I thought I would include this. That's funny. I think he DP'd Symphogear Season 1. That's pretty cool. Steins Gate 0, ReZero, two zeros back to back, One Punch Man, Carolyn Tuesday, and Beck, as well as a bunch of others that I didn't mention, but these are pretty much the best considered shows that he's worked on. And yeah, I'll describe him as experienced. Been around the block, not a newbie, not really under anybody's tutelage that much, not really working with one studio all that much, just kind of working his way through the industry. It's pretty cool. Next, we have the series comp/script with Kazuyuki Fudiyasu. Literally so much writing and script comp work that it's ridiculous. I'm basically included like a bunch of meme shows here, but like Iruma-kun, Slime Isekai, Sket Dance, Redo the Healer, Nana, Monster Musume, Land of the Lustrous, JoJo's, Interspecies Reviewers, Ippo, well, that being Hajime no Ippo, Claymore, Bleach, Black Clover, the list goes on. I guess what I'm getting across here is that in the script department, right, there's not really anything here to go off, because these are literally shows from all facets of genre, right? There's not even really a clear comparison here, I don't think, right? Hard to see a direct comparison, in my opinion. Next, we have the music by Kenichiro Suehiro, I believe is how you'd say that, I think. Music for Goblin Slayer, so you've got another Goblin Slayer connection there. Fire Force, Golden Kamui, ReZero, Shadow's House, Cells at Work, Isekai Oji-san. No real standouts in the music department. Again, I've consumed some of all of these shows. No real standouts there. Maybe ReZero. I believe ReZero has some good music. Like around that middle of that first season, I remember a few good tracks, I think. But yeah, we'll see about the music. Again, it's something that'll either impress me or I won't notice it, I think. It'll be one of those two. The mangaka for this is Suku Mizu. Please correct me if I'm wrong there, which is obviously a pseudonym. Only thing I can see is like Shimeji Simulation, which is the next thing that they're making at the moment. It's currently coming out, which is something about girls with food on their head. I believe there was something small before Girls Last Tour as well, but I didn't really note it down, so I don't know. Yeah, art style seems cute, and I'm guessing this is broadly what the art style for the show is based off of as well. And the last one I have down the bottom there is Masakazu Miyake, which I didn't really see a lot of stuff. Like there was a lot of stuff, like experienced, right? Been busy, but I didn't really see anything in particular that would give me a narrative to take into this recording session. Put it that way. Now, the only version of the key visual that I could find was this one, which isn't exactly a high quality image. But sure, we'll take it. What can I see? Okay. I can see a car going very fast. I've got a background that is mostly industrial stuff, I'm guessing. Pipes. Pipes are industrial, I guess. Like control panels. Like it's not a natural world, I guess, is what I'm getting across, right? Humanity's been here. Humanity's been building something military industrial complex potentially. Two cute girls in the middle. I do like their designs. They're unique enough, I think. with the different eyes complementing each girl. I like the different designs on the helmets as well, helping to differentiate, as well as the very obvious fact of the hair. They seem to have guns. Sure. I wonder if we're going to be firing said guns. I do not know. I guess I'll bring it up now. I've been alerted that this show has, like, it has an anime original ending, because the manga ended in 2018 and this ended in 2017, which is weird, right? I like got into anime in like 2017 itself, but this went under my radar initially, and then it just seemed like old news. I didn't go back and see it. But yeah, like anime out and then manga ending soon after is a little bit weird for me. Either way, here's the tank I talked about before that they're also sitting in. I don't know, not much really else to say off of this. It gives you an idea of character design and color palette more than anything else. I only do see two characters as well. Are there only going to be two characters? I don't know. In everything that I know about this show, yes, but also I don't know. Like there could be a bunch of these fuckers. I don't know. So yeah, now we're done with the key visual. I think we've had a pretty good look at everything to the point where I'm happy enough to jump in. This is where I'll do a bit of housekeeping, I guess. There's two ways to watch my videos. I provide a timer and the YouTube video itself. You can sync it up with your own copy and do it that way. If not, there will be a picture-in-picture link in the description, but be advised, the quality is pretty bad. Another thing I want to check is that if people want notes. So I'm not going to do notes initially, but like, again, if I think the show needs notes from the first episode, I'll probably write them and then ask you guys regardless if there's something that is necessary. Maybe the show will start out a little bit simple and then become more complex as we go on, and then notes will become necessary. I've gotten used to taking notes on a bunch of stuff anyway, so maybe I'll just write something down. Again, I will see. And one last thing, it's just my show stuff. If you like the video, I would consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I can do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'll also be reading comments next week, so in this segment of the video next week, I'll be reading said comments and responding to people and, you know, their kind of theories and what do they think and what makes the episode really good for them, that kind of stuff. Where was I? Twitter. There's a Twitter link. You can follow me on Twitter. And the Discord. The Discord's pretty poppin'. I like the Discord a lot. So join in there. I've got a channel to talk about Girls Last Tour. I'll also be doing a poll to replace Symphogear on the channel very, very soon. So if you wanted to get a spot in for that, you're more than welcome to do so as well. And yeah, that basically brings me to finally watching the episode. So let's go do that. That sounds like fun. So rightio, I've got episode 1 of Girls Last Tour up here ready to go. The subtitles for this, which is something I probably should have talked about before. I've got apparently it's called Signs and Songs, which I imagine is just translating the signs and the songs by Asenshi. I'm going to say Asenshi. But I've also got NH subs. NH. H, you know what I'm talking about. Please recommend subs if you want subs, because I'm very open to anything. This is basically the first thing that I saw when trying to download the show, so I mean, take it with a grain of salt, is all I'm trying to say there. But yeah, as I said before, picture-in-picture in the description below. And I guess I'm just going to jump right in. Going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. Well, that's not subtitled. That's not good. Maybe they're just credits, I do not know. I will see shortly. Water. True. Ooh. Okay. Seems pretty fucked, if I'm honest. Well, there's your water. Is this our tank, potentially? Yeah. Oh, it's not very big. The backgrounds are really good, by the way. Oh, this is a crazy start. Yep, I'd imagine that's the title. Oh no. What is this song? What is that? Well, the CG is quite nice. Yeah, right. Okay, so we're going to do a bunch of CG on the wides, I guess. And it's less a tank and more like a motorbike? Tank? Does the one at the back do anything? That lady? That girl? Or you just kind of along for the ride? I mean, that's fine too. I didn't look up the studio that made this. Maybe I'll do that in post as well. Studio is always like studio schmudio, you know what I mean? Yeah. We love a cold open here, so. Oh no. I've got dub on. No. Audio track Japanese. Subtitles. Full subs. There we go. There's my subtitles, everybody. I fixed it. Alright, I'll reread this scene when we get back. She basically said it was boring for a bit. So we're going to need to change audio when we start on episode 2. Gotcha. I do not know. Random tunnel. I feel like I recognize voices. Goes upstairs pretty well. I don't know. What has happened to you before? Get to the top. Nope, nope. Go on again. Alright, maybe a pretty classic two-person comedic duo. Straight man slash funny guy? Maybe. It would track with their policeman in the vehicle. What is that sleeping sound? Okay, thanks, Mum. A good dream, I hope? A strange dream. Let's call it that. We're going to call it that. Yeah, you in particular. Your voice. Black hair. We were looking for food earlier, I believe, as well. Okay. Just going to sleep out in the open? Flashback? What's all that ash? Okay, there's other humans. I had another question that I'll talk about as well a bit later on. Okay, we're gonna need to break that whole thing down. Big time. You reckon? Okay. Alright. Lots of thoughts there. Cool. Why are you crying? You weren't crying back in the footage very much. What are you eating? You eating something? Yeah. Not the sleeve. Oh, that's a cursed image. I haven't seen that much spit since Mysterious Girlfriend X. Not a spit guy. I'm gonna tell you right now. Not really. That doesn't really do much for me. Oh, it's like the water from the start. Is that good? Is that a way out? It's less of a cave and more like industrial, though. Okay, you. We're getting names too. Yep, true. Very true. Mm-hmm. Which way? We're picking a way? Okay. Helpful. We'll take helpful. We like helpful. Yeah, look at her. Hey, you. You're doing it. You? Hey! Okay, we get to see like the outside. What does the outside look like, everybody? Yeah? Is this a bait and switch, ladies and gentlemen? The music's quite nice here, though. Oh, I feel it. It's bait and switch. Has to be. Well, no, maybe not. The music's playing it straight. Oh, okay. That's really nice. Okay. All right. It's a very bright night. Yeah, I didn't think it was night either. That surprised me. Okay. Don't get me started on shooting stars. And two girls. Well, it is. We made it out of the cave of death. Or tunnel, or whatever the hell we want to call it. Okay, we have food. Barely. It's not really sustenance, but it's something. Okay, it's also snowing. Oh, the hands there were great. Okay, so this was their last can. Gotcha. So the first part of the episode, I'm very like muddled after that subbing shenanigan. Hmm. Oh yeah, I guess contrast. True. I do not know. Something beyond, you reckon? True. That describes what's on screen. Is that maybe is that half an episode? Yeah, okay. Maybe like episodes in halves, maybe. With a title at the end of each. Therefore less of a contiguous story and more vignette. We will see. Yeah, okay. War. A lot of empty cans. We're shooting said cans. Okay. Ooh, bit of a sharpshooter. Nope. I stand corrected. Okay. Do we have enough ammo? You know what show this is reminding me of a lot? Made in Abyss. I don't know why. Hopefully it doesn't get that brutal, I guess. But yeah, just tonally, I think, and the kind of separateness of it all. Well, you have her. You have you. What, a good gun? Why would you need a gun though? All right, still on the look for food. This is great. Okay, I'll talk about this too. Oh, and the music too. Yep. All right, sweet. I've got something to talk about, everybody. They know what they're doing. Whoever wrote this knows what they're doing 910%. Most certainly is. Were they? They're hitting the nail on the head. They're talking about what I want to talk about before I do. I don't think that's a good idea. Well, kinda. It kind of was used to like move people around too. Give her a boost. Like, why not? There you go. She's noticeably taller too, just like a little bit. I don't know, man. Lots of reasons. They're all not very good. I don't know many good reasons to war. I don't know. Would it be more of a shock if I said, yeah, war's cool? I don't think anybody thinks that. Hmm. Okay, that's pretty. I like that too. A little bit of nuance. Well, where are all the corpses? Would be my question. That's not food. I think you should put it down. Yep. There you go. I thought it was food. It's not food. You can't eat explosives. I don't know. I can't read your language, so you're gonna have to tell me. Yep, that's good. We want those. You're that hungry? Well, we got the whole box. That was a good find. It was good that we went in the plane. A little bit too high up. Yeah, but that'll make her go further up. We're dead. Damn. Roll credits. Well, that's not half. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Okay, we're sharing. That's good. See, like, got to talk about this a lot too. Just letting it sit, eh? You can half it. You can rip it in half. I was about to say, if one character. What? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. Chill, chill, chill. Oh my god. Oh, bringing that back. All right, gun down. I just have to. I've got a really good idea of who the blackhead VA is. I got a really really good idea. I just want to check, so I'm not like looking stupid. If I had to say, I think they've been on the channel before. Some may say very recently. I'm happy that we're getting some just desserts here. You kind of like pointed a gun at her. That wasn't great. Put the safety on at least. I would say, but even then, you just don't put a pointed gun at somebody's head. But even that can be okay. I might talk about that as well. All right. At least you had a good time. Oh, I love the sound effect there on the crunch of the snow. Don't eat snow. No, don't eat snow. It's a bad idea. Don't eat snow. I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, is it war or has the war happened? I think the war's happened. I don't see anybody, bro. Okay, that was a funny face. I think they're nailing the animation here. It's reflecting the I'd have to imagine reflecting the manga pretty well. What a pick for the soundtrack too here. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing the Iyashike to it for sure. But a very very ironic Iyashike. Or maybe no, they kinda. They also play it straight a lot. Again, I'll get to talking about central conceit of the show very shortly. Um, but yeah, I liked the first episode. It wasn't what I expected, not at all. For one, it seems a little bit more playful and a little bit more, yeah, again, slice of life here. Not everything is not everything has plot utility. Sometimes we're using it for character stuff, which I like. I'm going to imagine White Fox made this, but I'm going to look it up because I've seen them like 3 or 4 times in the credits. Lots of stuff to look up and talk about for sure. And right here, jumping into a bit of analysis on the first episode of Girls' Last Tour. So yeah, that was the first episode of Girls' Last Tour. And as I kind of talked about in the ED, I've got some broad thoughts around my expectation and how they were kind of challenged there of what the show would be. But before that, I want to talk about a couple of my discoveries. So yes, the show is made by White Fox. If I click on White Fox and have a little bit of a look at what White Fox have made, it up to and includes Steins Gate, ReZero, which probably relates to a lot of those shared stuff that I was talking about before. Katana Gathari, sure. Among other things, yeah, there's a few other things here, I guess. I've heard of Jormungand. I've never heard it said, but I know what that is, as well as obviously Goblin Slayer. Oh, the Gochi Usa as well. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, okay. There's a little bit of stuff here for sure. But the other thing is, yes, I was right. It is Inori Minase as Chi. I believe we called her Chi. Yeah, you could tell when she gets like kind of mad in kind of a tsundere way. I'm like, yeah, that's her. So again, for those uninitiated, Inori Minase, probably most popular as Rem from ReZero. Another ReZero connection there. One of the girls in what's that show called? Quintuplets. You know what I'm talking about. One of my favorite roles of hers was a Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. I think that show's amazing. Also playing the main character of Gakugaroshi, which I love. I think that show's amazing. So yeah, kind of almost a similar vibe to this show too. Yeah, school. Listen, it's school Live. I don't know if it's school live doesn't make any sense. School live? That would make sense. I never know so I always default to the Japanese name on that one. But anyway, most importantly to the channel overall is obviously the Carol connection from Symphogear. And Carol just came off a couple of really good episodes there towards the end of Symphogear too, so yeah, pretty good. Yeah, definitely can see the voice there, the talent coming through. The other voice actress was Yurika Kubo for what's her name? You for you, not me. You. Kaide from what do we call that show? Oh my god, Bunny Girl Senpai. Thank you. Jeez. And freaking Hanayo from original Love Live School Idol project, which is kind of freaking me out. But anyway, like obviously Inori Minase the biggest star there, but you know, two pretty talented VAs that are doing their thing here. Definitely playing two sides of a character dichotomy there for sure. Pretty classic one at that. But yeah, I'll get the episode up now, and we'll have a talk about it from that perspective. Based off that first episode, I don't think notes are really a thing here. It doesn't seem like a plot show in that way. It seems like we'll pick up things here and there that'll all maybe come together by the end to tell some semblance of a backstory for why what has happened, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it's interesting for now. There's a flashback that I want to talk about, which reveals some things. But yeah, here's the episode up here. It starts in a very interesting way, kind of that don't seem to have opening or ending yet, just kind of using this very angelic classical tune as our main theme rocking through, I guess. Yeah, relaxing is the main word I would use to describe it, which again doesn't really fit with the setting. But again, that is I guess I'll talk about it here. The main conceit of this entire thing is juxtaposition, right? Where it's juxtaposing a pretty dire situation, two girls supposedly abandoned or something to that effect, you would think, right? On a journey somewhere, right? Moving across the land somewhere, maybe with a goal, maybe without a goal. And we're playing it in a very cutesy way, in a very friendly way, in a very like high spirits way, I guess, in a lot of ways, right? And I think Yu's mostly responsible for that character wise, but she's no like she doesn't take it super seriously all the time either. But yeah, the kind of juxtaposition between like terrible setting, this is bad, what has happened everywhere. I'm even implying some things about almost a nuclear winter going on right now, right? Again, among other things, we'll talk about it. A lot of the technology itself seems a little bit pre that point in time, a little bit more World War One, World War Two. But yeah, like that, like terrible setting. Lovely characters, lovely music, lovely like moments of nature shining through. Lovely, just quietude, right? That I'm really enjoying with it. And again, that's what are we trying to say here, right? There's a specific scene, and I'll talk about it when we get to it in a little bit more detail, where specifically, like, we can't find food for all of the war technology that's around, right? There's all this stuff, right? And there's nobody around. Nobody's around. We haven't seen another human characters besides the main two characters, right? That is currently living. We have all these weapons designed to be used by humans and no food. No food left that we can find, right? What were we really focusing on when we were doing that? And I think that's the best anti-war message of all. It's one that isn't directly shoved down your throat. I think we got a little bit nail on heady, a little bit. I got it fairly early when she tries to eat the tank. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But I mean, it's not like I disagree with the message either. So, again, this show's already got me talking like a bunch, by the way, like a bunch. But so let's jump into the episode proper and talk about this cold open. So initially, no music, only the sound of water dripping. Right, falls, makes big old splash. Right, one drop. Many different reactions, almost getting a bit of Oppenheimer on, which I find interesting. This is the first shot we get. This is the first thing that we're treated to for the show. One, the backgrounds are pretty good. It opens up for some nice, almost Eurocamp adjacent moments where you'll walk up to something, the music will build up to it, we tilt our heads and we get a big, beautiful vista. I wouldn't say the backgrounds are particularly stand out other than that. I mean, they're good. I do like this, like, jumbled mess of technology that somebody's created at some point in time that is, again, currently being unused. Again, we're going to reference a lot of post-apocalyptic fiction here. It's almost giving me a little bit of Near, just a little bit, right, with all this technology here. And it all speaks to that same truth, which is like, what was all of this for? That's essentially what we're trying to say with a lot of the visual language here. And nothing. No sound. No nothing right now, right? Just a little bit of wind, and then we hear like the chugga 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 as we pass through. See almost Jurassic Park, like stuff start to move around as we see our tank get revealed, I guess. And the movement here to me implied that it would be much larger than it was, but it wasn't really that large, really. We see this nail here, or bolt, I guess I would say. Kind of introducing us to a pretty liberal use of CG throughout the first episode, which I didn't mind. I'm not a CG hater like a lot of people are. we're generally using them on wides, and we're using it as kind of this like sweeping first shot of the show mostly. And I don't hate it. I think the character models translate pretty well with the art style to CG. Um, and I don't know, we're not. It's not like super immense action to the point where it becomes uncanny valley. I think it just kind of, you just kind of notice it and just let it pass. I think it's pretty good. I don't know what these letters are. I was imagining that it would have been like the shortening of the title, but then we see like the title revealed here anyway, which is like way longer than that. Again, I'm sure somebody can tell me. And that's where we get this same style of music coming through. I'm unsure if it's the same song or not, but it's this really like high voice, really classy, a lot of harp involved, a lot of like, very soft strings, I guess I would say as well. Um, it's a strange arrangement for what's going on. Again, I've talked about how contrast is a big part of the show and what it's trying to say. Notice that the music also only comes in upon seeing our characters. Before these characters appear, it was nothing. It was a bleak, like, nothingness of technology. And then our characters come in and we hear this music, right? Bringing that life to the scene. My number one question is, like, what the hell am I looking at here? I do not know. I do not know. This gave me many ideas in the moment before. One of the first things I noted about where the characters are in the scene as well is that you are driving, being Chi, and you is lying in the back. And this translates pretty well to what their characters are like, right? It's almost like whoever made the story here, whether it be mangaka or somebody on the anime staff, really understood what the characters' roles were and then established that very, very early. You're like responsible and the one keeping it all together, while a lot of the levity comes from you. It's seemingly like a motorbike tank too. I wonder what the fuel situation's like. Seemingly food is scarce, potentially fuel not so much. So I wonder if this is going to be our opening each and every time, right? So something akin to this, right? Not exactly the same shots, but the same music and the same just kind of riding out into something. I guess we'll see with subsequent episodes. So interesting, right? The English translated this first line as boring, but we're just saying it is dark. It's getting the same feeling across, right? Where you're just saying random bullshit because you're bored, but the English goes straight for I'm bored. That's interesting. Like it's not often that I watch something both subbed and dubbed to the point where I can compare them, but yeah, that is an interesting quirk. See, you're annoying, right? That's like half your whole character, and you kind of just put up with it. I wonder what the pre-existing relationship was like between you two, right? You seem pretty friendly. Or is it like, again, we're like the only two left, and we just need to deal with it? There was a scene played later in the episode where she kind of pointed a gun at Chi, where I'm like, is this a joke? Is this not a joke? I'm pretty sure it was a joke. Um, but but it doesn't imply very good things about their relationship. But anyway, I digress. Another thing we learn very quickly is scarcity, right? Hugh knows when we'll be at the next refueling station, specifically for oil for the lamp. So, and we did get a look at the gauge before, so I mean, potentially fuel is scarce here. And we've been riding around in the dark for a very, very long time. We kind of forget what daylight even looks like. Daylight is when we get out of this section right towards the end, right? That's when we kind of see that again, and then we're out in the snow for a bit. You thinking, hey, why did we even come out this way again? And then remembering that she was the one that said that we should go into this random tunnel anyway. All right, okay, let's look at this. Let's get a good shot of it. Why is the door so much fucking bigger than them? Right? This was one of my first questions. This was one of the first things I saw and made me really think. I'm like, especially paired with whatever that thing was we saw at the start. I don't know if it was like a dummy or what. What is this world? That's what I was thinking. Are there giants? Are there giants around? Seemingly no. Seemingly it's just to show scale. Seemingly this would have been for a larger piece of equipment to travel through this area than what they're using. It doesn't seem to be giant people, though these two girls seem to be girls. They're not women, right? They're young, compared to the people we see in the flashback later on. But yeah, just got my mind jogging, right? We don't need somebody standing here telling me the state of the world right now, right? It's part of the mystery. It's part of what gets me intrigued, right? For first episodes, we're always looking for hooks, and this one definitely hooked me with just the general question of how did we get here, which still hasn't really even been answered. So I guess the main linking point between the two episode segments, I guess there's a pretty good delineation in the middle, is food. We're looking for food both times. I wonder if that's going to be a constant. I wonder if that's just an episode one thing. I do not know. So we don't get a very good look at the world early. Again, the next chapter is called like war, so we know what happens, right? There's some kind of war. But before this, it's very hard to pick up like what we're even doing here, right? I had some outside knowledge which helped, right? In that I knew that, they were in a tank, and I knew that they were in army uniforms, and I knew that it was post-apocalyptic, and that gave me ideas, right? But without that, this is a very, very interesting opening that just kind of leaves you to figure it all out. I like it a lot. Again, reminded me of Eurocamp a lot here, just in its quietness, I guess, right? You can very clearly relate the characters as well. You've got your Shimmerin, as well as Nadeshko, I believe. Nadeshko's ringing bells. That's the kind of two analog characters here. And then we're parking a bike and getting stuff out and going to sleep out somewhere that isn't home. I don't know. I definitely see the Yuru camp in that. You're the worst right now. Just the way you're sleeping between that and everything else it's not really vibing with me. But yeah, you're sleeping, right? We're focusing on that while you do like responsible things like pack up and tuck her into bed and stuff, right? There's even the kind of gun separating them there. The responsible one for sure. But just like the lack of music, and I'm just going to like pack things away for a little bit, yeah. They know how to pace it very, very well. So almost like the polar opposite of Symphogear, where Symphogear's pacing is pedal to the fucking metal. Like, imagine a scene like this. It doesn't exist. Like a scene like this in Symphogear, it just does not exist. That's this slow, right? And I'm gonna keep talking like really, really tactical use of music in this show. Like as we're trying to sleep, all we hear is the ambience and the creaking of the pipes and stuff, right? None of the, I guess, human sounds there, or even the nice lullaby-esque sounds that a soundtrack would provide, diegetic or not, right? We only get that big musical pop-off moment upon finding, our way out. At least in the short term, anyway. This is where we get our little flashback, right? It's a dream sequence for Chi, right? So I'm just going to frame by frame this. So we've actually got houses here. That's cool. Hang on, because we pan up and then we see like war smoke, among other things. And we're kind of flashing in and out of like sepia tone and the actual color palette. Well, it's all kind of faded anyway, right? Again, like a memory, like a dream. Fragmented. We see wheels turning here. We also get a look at, I'm imagining, Yu's face. Get a look at this guy. This guy will come back later. This is a male character. Oh my god, shock horror. There's a male character. He's got glasses. I've had to guess some kind of scientist, but that's based off basically only tropes. We see war occurring. We see characters here, which are they our characters? You would have to imagine yes. They're way younger, right? Children. Very, very young children, younger than they are now, right? There's been a few years since whatever this has happened, right? Worried looks on the adults' faces, guns on the back, coats on. They almost look like they're storming fucking Normandy or something. So, like, war has been declared. We're moving out to go to war. Snow falling. I was almost thinking nuclear hellscape snow stuff, right? Nuclear winter, Two sets of footsteps going in that door as well. There was something swaying there. Whatever the hell that is, swaying off a hand. Looks like a key. A key. Again, like all reflected on like the spinning wheels of the tank. Glasses again, leaving two girls behind, seemingly. Key, sad eyes. Reflected in the eyes of you, we see man with glasses waving goodbye. You're waving back, right? Like, happily, or at least tearfully, with a bit of emotion. You turn around and wave, right? But feel like you're putting on a brave face. You understand the, I guess, severity of the situation, but are still trying to put on a brave face regardless. I see. And that's all through animation. Like, none of this is dialogue. This is me just guessing, right? But I think that's a testament to the art. I would say so, right? And then yeah, we leave you behind. All right, let's try and infer some things. Father? Is father possible? Do Chi and you seem like siblings? Not to me. Now, parental figure, considering that, you know, that the world seems pretty fucked, potentially like an orphanage type situation, and you're taking care? I do not know. Or again, you're just randomly guardian of these two girls? All will be revealed in time, I feel. But yeah, that disappears, fades into memory, we hear gunshots, and then we wake up from said dream. Through one very loud gunshot, and you have tears in your eyes, potentially lamenting your behavior back during that flashback. Again, food for thought. Then we hear like sucking sounds, and I get broadly concerned, but it's only a sleeve job. Again, I don't want to repeat what I just said, but there's some spit involved, I guess. There's a very well animated shot of the spittle flying everywhere that I'm again not particularly fond of, but go off, I guess. The thing I will compliment it on is moving our kind of comedic scene upon waking up with kind of like, oh, I'm hungry, I will eat sleeve during my sleep, probably thinking about eating something else. And moving that into actual plot relevance, where I'm going to now put my finger up because it's slightly wet and I feel a draft. I think that's pretty good, right? It's just good scenario writing, I think. Like, there's a pretty believable, logical move from each point in the scene. Not all of it feels contrived. It feels like something naturally the characters would do in the situation. Of course, you doesn't discover that this is the draft. It's you. It's Chi. Because I'm going to struggle with you a lot this recording session, I think. Chi figures it out because she's a little bit more world weary and smarter, right? Where again, I don't believe that you would think about this unassisted, I guess. Chi waking up you here is pretty funny too, unable to wake her up with slaps and has to go for the closed fist. Again, broadly voice acted and edited really well. Shows that impact, right? Ready? Pan away. We don't need to see the slap. All we see is the legs. Great stuff. And then there's pretty classic stuff, like if there's a draft, you follow the wind and it'll take you to the exit. Pretty cool. That's how it works in caves and stuff. So now we see that Yu begins to navigate upon being prompted to do so. Again, bit of CG here as the music picks up. We get a bit of hope about us again. We finally see that light at the end of the tunnel. I was thinking that this would imply that it was daytime, but I was incorrect. Again, the scenes in, and I'm going to keep bringing them up because this is very similar to it. The scenes in Eurocamp, right? Where it's obviously building up to a big emotional sweeping moment, and the music builds up to it in a really nice way, and the editing picks up in a cool way too. And this is basically the exact same formula used here. It is excellent. It works every single time. I hope we see it again during this show. Yeah, music swelling, editing picking up, focusing on the tire tracks on the stairs. Through here, blinding light, shines in our eyes. Focus on character expression, surprise, even wider surprise. And then we get it, right? It's very pretty. In the reaction itself, I was wondering what tone the show would take, right? I was wondering if it were being like almost dark comedy, almost like ironic and spiteful about our juxtaposition in the show, right? Between like, again, cute comedy and war. Instead, we're going cute, inspiring and war, right? Which I think it maybe is a better fit. I don't think I need something cold and callous and broadly dismissive of war. I think something inspiring in spite of that maybe the correct decision. I think this will be an important moment for the show going forward, and it firmly establishing what its main goal of it being created is. Yeah, I guess I didn't know that this show wasn't a comedy. And it's not a comedy. That's the wrong word, actually. Yeah, I just didn't know if we would play it straight or not. And we did, and I really liked it because of it. Like, we're just so chuffed to be out of the tunnel. And You know, we feel that. We feel that as an audience too. There's also probably something in it, hey, despite the light shining so bright, it was still night, right? So what we thought was, you know, the brightest thing we've ever seen, it was still the darkest point of our normal, you know, human life cycle. Does that make any sense? Like, okay, take a non-post-apocalyptic setting, right? Like just normal everyday. What is a sunset is normally a goodbye. It's normally an end. Night is normally dark and full of terrors, and you know, sunrise is hope. We're placing hope in night here. Again, I'm thinking broadly showing how dire it actually is out here. Yeah, and also if I had a nickel for every show starring Inori Minase that has two girls hugging each other, looking up at shooting stars, then I'd have two nickels. But it's weird that it's happened twice. We also pair this, you know, I guess euphoric moment of coming out of the tunnel with finally getting some food, that being a little bit of soup that we've scrounged together. It's still not much, it's basically the last of what we have for now, but you know, it feels good all the same. I do like how you like visually ask for your soup too, right? And I like how warm it looks. I like that we hear like the rushing wind of the and the snow and stuff in the background. Like it would have to taste pretty good. I would say that. Just broadly doing a lot character animation wise to make the show pop. Just a little. She put her tongue in the soup and it was too hot, and she kind of recoiled for a bit. Pretty good. Yeah, and we get super squishy here too. Yeah, here. Great. Great. Good stuff. Another really nice scene, just saying, hey, I didn't know it would be so bright out here. But what happens when the sun rises? We'll melt. Or we'll burn to death, actually. And then, like, the scream. Just, yeah, cute. Love it. I think they're hitting this kind of stuff out of the park. And then this. Yeah, okay. Show does a great job at this kind of stuff. What are you reaching out for? Reaching out to touch those shooting stars. Something so childlike, something so genuine, something so almost human, right? Reaching for the stars. A moment of like serene beauty in whatever the hell else we have going on. I really like it. Some may say it's a little bit schmaltzy and stuff, but again, I think they time it well enough and they don't, I guess, foreshadow it all that well. But in a good way. It doesn't feel trite as a result. I like it. I like it a lot. And there we go. The episode, I guess the first half there is called Starry Sky. Immediately contrast into daytime, but it is still overcast. The snow is falling pretty heavily. Pan down whatever the hell this piece of wreckage is, probably part of the plane that we see later in this portion. And this title, right? Where does it come up? War. Here we go. So upon seeing this, again, it becomes very clear what this segment of the story will be about. It will be broadly about war. And we're already contrasting, right? Empty soup cans, but we're shooting them. We're using them as target practice, right? All we can do in this world is surrounded by war. No matter what it is, right? We even use the things, like, again, we need food to survive. We don't need war to survive, right? We're shooting the things that the food comes out of, because why not? Because there's guns around. There's plenty and plenty of guns that we stopped focusing enough on the food. And again, I don't know if I'm vocalizing this concept very well, but you understand what I'm talking about, right? It's meant to be, again, kind of ironic, but not in a, you know, smarmy way, I guess. In a pretty genuine way, in a pretty, like, it actually made me think about it, right? What are we doing? even in episode 1, like, what are we doing? Why do we war again? Why? I think there's a line later that describes it pretty well. At a certain point in time, it became more important to people that these other people needed to die, or whatever else you do during war, than us needing to eat. The priorities switched there. And should they have ever switched like that? Probably not. So we have you doing some target practice, and I guess Chi looking out to see if she hit the target or not. Another thing I've noticed is we're pretty resource conscious, right? We're conscious of fuel, we're very conscious of food across these two episodes, but you're shooting bullets with impunity, right? Again, casually implying that there's a shit ton of this, shit ton of ammo still, shit ton of munitions, but again, fuel and food are scarce, which again, should it be? Like, we're just kind of shooting for fun, you know? Do we do anything for fun in this world other than that? Oh, really? This is interesting too. I wonder if this will come back later as well. Chi doesn't have a weapon, right? She doesn't want to know how to shoot. She doesn't carry a weapon because she doesn't need one, right? Well, what does that imply? Well, we haven't seen anybody in ages. We haven't seen anybody that would cause us harm that we would need to shoot. Or does it imply some stuff about you being with you, who is seemingly a pretty good shot with the gun? Maybe you didn't need to shoot because you know you're close enough with you. And maybe that's what we're playing with at the end when she puts the gun to her head? I don't know. We set up a broad plot idea here of Chi looking for a weapon eventually as well. I wonder if that was only for this, that we were kind of looking for a weapon whilst also looking for food. So again, really hopeful music, really buoyant music, really youthful music almost, right? But contrasting this with like sweeping shots of machine guns and weapons and stuff, and again crap, just like military crap. But we can't find really important stuff like food. You know? To the point where, again, not the sharpest tool in the shed, you, thinks maybe I should try eating said tank. Do you think tanks taste good? Nah. Like, forced to a point in humanity where we need to even consider stuff like this. Like I think you accidentally said something really profound. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. I do like the bit of perspective we use here on the bite too. Cute. People of the past were really short on food too, so why do they spend all their time making weapons? Or why do they spend all their time making... Yeah. Are you talking about us? Are you talking about us? Yeah. There are plenty of people all around the world that go hungry and we're making weapons. How much do we spend on weapons again? Anyway, I don't want to get too political, but you know, I agree with the sentiments of the show broadly. Yeah, I think you're kind of brilliant, right? Because you just say what's on your mind, but I think it's simultaneously like so simple it's smart. Like if they had all this stuff, why didn't they make more cans for food? Like, yeah, you're right. Why didn't they? And then you're a little bit more the realist. Well, they had other problems too, which is true. You can't just completely dismiss the causes for all of this conflict as well. I'm talking more the real world. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. And then we see the plane. We're talking about it flying, right? We're maybe going to play with the flight side of it a little bit more. We kind of do with Chi being up on the propeller a little bit later on. We try to crawl inside this plane. And again, we let the moment sit a lot. We let her try to climb into the plane for quite a while, screen time wise, right? Before you actually gives her a hand. I'm wondering what the use of this is beyond, I guess, telling us that she's a little bit stronger and taller. Maybe? I don't know. But I like it though. Deliberate pacing, I would call it. Again, like continuing on this theme, you just basically said, why do people like kill each other and stuff? That sounds bad. And then again, you're like, maybe if your best's interests don't coincide with theirs. Yeah. Sometimes you do need to fight, right? You know? I'm thinking more like dictatorship type stuff, like you're in a very bad location, like not wars of invasion but wars of, you know, liberation and that kind of thing. There is a little more tolerable cause wise, but yeah, just like really thoughtful, like simple but thoughtful thoughts. So far from this show, the example we bring up here, probably trying to relate to you the most, is the example of like, okay, we got enough food for 2 people, but there's 3. So what do? Right? We can't share. One of us has to starve. Isn't that a good enough reason to fight? Wars of scarcity, right? Interesting. But again, like back then, back in the day, why did they do this back in the day? All these questions, almost implying that this war has been going on long enough that we've lost all semblance of understanding of what the real world even is. Like we were very young and we were already in that flashback I'm talking about, and we're already in like a war setting, right? So the world's been fucked for a while. I wonder how long there's been like no people around as well. I don't know. Again, questions. I'm intrigued. I want to know more. And okay, so then you picks up Big Gun and goes, check out this. And then you don't even pay her any attention. Like, again, you guys have been around each other that long. You just tell her to put it down. that you like don't even need to like participate in a conversation like that anymore, right? You're that used to each other. Like I like these little slice of lifey moments in between of everything, right? Not everything has to have that plot utility. True. This, I believe, does have plot utility, though, these explosives. So if we see something in our path in the future, we will be exploding it, I believe. And again, like we just found like rare C4, right? And we're like, oh yeah, cool, just pop it in the backpack. What we get really gassed about is some rations, right? Like paired with that sound effect when she like points her head in, gets a closer look. This is actually interesting. Yeah, like fighting each other with camera space just to try to like see a look at these rations again. Again, food being the main linking point between these two segments of this story so far. Yeah, I think we just decided to go on the propeller just to fuck around, right? Again, some great like subtle character stuff, like you're gung ho and kind of stupid, so you just go for it. You're world weary and cautious. You're kind of scared for the moment, and also like the way the propeller goes, right? You're the heavier person too, the bigger frame. You're scared of heights, right? Again, much smaller, and then you just push for it regardless, right? Again, causing it to go down with your weight, you come up and become more scared because of it. Oh, and then that line there, of course, I'm flying. Great. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, right? Like linking it back into I wonder if we could fly with this thing. I think this is our best chance to fly with this thing at the moment, and that's why we play with it. I like that. Then our stomachs growl, and we finally get out some of the rations and have a look. And we say it's chocolate flavored. Whatever it is, it's some military thing, so it's probably, again, probably got some amount of energy in it. So apparently it's chocolate flavored. No idea what chocolate is, though. I think this is our best indicator that, like, again, the world's been fucked since they were born, right? Like, there's been no need to know what actual chocolate is because everything's just been, rationed out. There's no need for a simple delight such as chocolate when we're trying to, push military industrial complex even further. Oh, interesting. I'm finding lots of stuff. Early in the scene, we're talking about fighting for scarcity. Scarcity of food, right? So we've got a packet that has 5 in it. We each have 2. There's 1 left, and it immediately results in 2 humans fighting over it. Isn't that kind of funny? Okay, I like that a lot too. So it was unclear for a moment if this was meant to be serious or not. The kind of eerie music comes in here to help buoy the scene. But again, you've been like the hungry one, the stupid one. So I thought that you were just like playing it for laughs. It kind of ended up being like halfway in between in a weird way. Insane betrayal though. Top fucking 10 anime betrayals right here, right now. Or even bringing back, again, the idea that you should have been armed as well. You need a weapon, right? You, you may be relying on having you around who has the weapon, but who's to say that you's always going to be on your side, right? And of course, it's obvious. She even says it. This is war, right? And then eats fucking chocolate thing. Yeah, and I think even she even thought that it was a joke for a while. And then that's when we started like play fight. Well, kind of play fight. She kind of goes in as well. The laughing here is great from you too. Is she gets a beatdown, probably a well-deserved beatdown, considering she kind of pointed a gun at her. Can I just say that more stuff needs to be done with simpler character designs? You can get a lot of work done. A lot of work done all the time. Just don't make your show look expensive because you make your character designs look expensive. Make your characters look cheap, right? And just animate them really well. It looks really good. Like this show wouldn't have cost like a ton of money from what I've seen, and it looks really good. Just saying. Again, one of those, simple moments. I'm sure we've all had something like this. Again, like a play fight, fake serious fight between friends, and then, lying down on the ground after it's all over, looking up wistfully at whatever else is going on, right? We talk about being hungry again after expending all that energy. You proceed to eat snow. Again, no, not a good idea. Do not eat snow. Especially if you're like in a post-apocalypse, because if you get sick, that's, again, really bad. But like, I think it works for the scene though, is all I'm trying to say. Even talking to the themes in this segment of the story as well, up to this point, needing to resort to eat snow or eating snow because of the lack of food just around. And again, even in the dialogue, directly relating that to war. Yeah, okay. Yeah, again, I said it before and I'll say it again. Whoever wrote this, whether it be mangaka or adapter, again, combination of the both, They know what they're doing. They really, really, really know what they're doing. I do like this like little shot here of Chi too. Yeah, the eyes here, right? Here. You could tell that was a manga panel. It was probably a very funny one. Like wanting to get your, I guess, comeuppance for everything as well. Kind of headbutting her in the stomach after eating all that snow. And we kind of just sleep. And this kind of very similar song to the start of the show plays out, and we're kind of just vibing. Right, we're just gonna let it play out. Even you resort to eating a little bit of snow right there at the end. That's kind of funny. Oh, I guess it's revealed that they were sleeping on top of the airplane too. Like use this propeller to get up. Something in that, maybe. Yeah, of course, that's exactly what happened. So, like, yeah, you were scared of going up, but they wanted to get on top of the airplane. Great, okay. And none of this is through dialogue. None of this is even through wide shots, really. We just kind of have to figure it out. I really like the storytelling here. I really do. It doesn't hold your hand. Yeah, oh yeah, that was fabulous. That was a fabulous episode. I love these backgrounds too. This, like, shadow, this ominous thing, whatever demon structure. I'm just saying words. You know what I mean, though, right? It's just like technological overgrowth bullshit. You know, I like it looming over the scene. Is all I'm trying to say. And yeah, that was episode 1 of Girls Last Tour, and very, 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 very happy with it. I actually kind of loved it. It's exactly my kind of show in that it's a lot of people would find it boring, but I think they're stupid. Just because it's nice and slow. I like it. It's simultaneously like relaxing, but it gives me a lot to talk about as well. I think it's genuinely thoughtful, but also quite simple, which is a pretty good mix to have right now, right? We don't need all this complexity to tell our moral at the moment. I love a show that is seemingly genuine, that doesn't want to like undercut everything, that just sometimes lets its moments sit. That's what we're seemingly getting here. I think the voice performances are very good right now. I think the broad story stuff is pretty intriguing. I want to know more about, I guess, the mystery of the world. I like the minute to minute a lot. I like how slow it is. I think I've talked about that enough already. But yeah, broadly, very, 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 very impressed. Hopefully we can kind of keep this going. I wonder if we'll keep this kind of 2-episode-y or half-episode structure going. I do not know. I don't know if there'll even be like stopping point discussions here. I'm pretty sure you can just watch this at your leisure whenever you want. I'll probably try to do 2 most weeks, but we will see. Because again, I had a very, very busy like recording couple of days for this, like as of right now. So we will see. We will see what happens with Girls Last Tour. But yes, a good recommendation so far, everybody. You guys did good. Again, open and happy to hear any kind of, I guess, suggestions and criticism and that kind of thing about what I'm doing here. Should I do notes? Should I change subtracks? What are stopping points? All that kind of stuff. Yeah, please tell me. But yeah, I think it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching with me today. It was nice. I'll do my shill stuff. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord. Discord. Don't forget that poll that'll be out in a couple of days as well. Please vote on it. But yeah, thank you for watching this week. I'll catch you next week for more Girls Last Tour. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.